Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome back to my live stream on Thursday. My name is Jimmy Cheng, an Olympus ambassador, professional photographer, and filmmaker. So, welcome back to my daily stream. If you don't know who I am, I just mentioned my name, but this stream is happen on between Monday to Friday every day, between 11 to 11:30 a.m. GMT London time. So welcome back. Yes, I have my headphone on, so today I can kind of focus more what I'm going to talk about and things like that, because usually with kids around and you got a bit of noise there and then just a little bit distracting, and sometimes I kind of lost track of what I was trying to say, or trying to read something or hear something, because it's going to be a little bit difficult. So today I'm trying to be a little bit more focused by putting my headphone on so I can be as focused as possible. So if you don't know that, I also had a couple of live streams yesterday, one on my YouTube and one with Olympus UK last night, and it was all very fun, very happy that so many people tune in and asked me loads of questions about filmmakings and on the Olympus camera. So it was a very, very cool. I'm going to put the link down in the description so you can check out the to catch up video if you missed the live yesterday. So good morning, Trevor. Yes, good to see you once again, and thank you for coming as well, because I saw you popped up quite a few questions last night in the Olympus live. So that was pretty cool. So today I'm going to talk a little bit more about long exposure, just a little bit, but more importantly, I have a topic today. So it's a little bit of a discussion with you guys and see how you think about what I'm going to say today. I'm going to spoil it now. Let me just bring up the title today. So okay, just there we go. So this is today's topic. So if you guys are not familiar with my live stream, the structure and how it works is I usually separate into three sections. First, a general update about myself, also UK in general, because this live stream is open in public, and that means that my friends and family, also everybody can see this. So I just want to keep everybody who knows me informed that we are doing okay in London. As you know, we are having a lockdown at the moment, so we can't really go unless we have to do critical essential shopping or seek medical help. So that's why I just want to to do this daily thing, just to keep everybody happy, and then so they know that we are doing fine, especially with the kids and everything. So it's more like a family thing, and of course, you guys are becoming my friends now, so I just want to let you guys know that I'm okay as well. So that's all good. And then apart from that, I don't think there's any more special to announce. We're still having a lockdown. This is the 4th week now, so it's one whole month, by Sunday, and so 1 month we've been stuck indoor at home and not doing too much, and apart from just trying to work on my remaining projects that I have to do, look after the kids, do a little bit of homeschooling, and my wife still works from home, so she still had to log in and do everything she needs to do remotely. So yeah, I guess everybody is doing the same thing if wherever you are, you're having similar situations. So that's the general update. So secondly, I will have the topic of today. So of course you can see the title already on my screen there. And lastly, we'll have a Q&A where you can ask me anything you want. In fact, because this is a live stream anyway, you can ask me anything at any one time. If I do see the comment pops up, I will answer as quickly as I can, because I do notice actually, because I'm using a separate program to do the live stream, I don't see it on Facebook. So the comment that pops up on my screen is actually a little bit delayed, so I don't get the instant kind of interactions there. So I'm always probably about half a minute to a minute delay there in terms of commenting. So please do bear with me, and until I see your comment, I won't be able to answer you. So it's not that I'm ignoring you, because I just can't see quick enough. Ian, yeah, thank you very much for joining me yesterday as well. And I did miss your last question. You asked about grading, so I actually have the footage here now, so I'm gonna show you what grading is and what sort of effect you can achieve with it. So I do prepare one for you, because so you can see the last thing you wanted to ask me last night. So okay, so if you want to see that live stream video, you missed it last night, the link is already on the screen somewhere. Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to orientate myself, so this is the link there. Okay, so let me just take that off as well, so it's not in the middle of the screen. Let me get that off. Okay, cool. Right, okay, let's get on with today's topic. Why Olympus is selling older cameras, and that is debatable, of course, and it's not debatable. It's a fact. They're still selling the EPL8, which is actually about 3-4 years old camera, EPL9, which is 2 years old camera, and of course the latest one, EPL10, and so is the EM10 Mark II, Mark III, which is the latest one or the current one, and EM5 Mark II and the latest one, Mark III, and also the EM1. So they are keeping all the Mark II versions in the lineup, and this is a something that I think is not exclusive to Olympus, because you know why? I do actually see all manufacturers doing the same thing. If you actually look closer, I mean, if you are kind of like following all the tech gadget, industry, especially if you're an Apple fan, they actually initiated this, and now everybody's copying the same strategy of selling older model. Like Apple is one of the first ones who actually start selling older things, like by keeping their older iPhones in the lineup. The reason they do that is to actually entice you to get into the ecosystem, which is a very smart thing to do business-wise. But if you think deeper, it's actually very, very good, because not everyone needs the latest and the greatest. I know. You might think that it's psychologically, it's almost like you are not treating yourself right if you're buying an older electronic devices, like whether it's phone, computer, or camera. But let's look at like just purely focus on camera first, and I don't think, and I did mention it many times already, you can't get a bad cameras, I mean really bad cameras, since about 5-6 years ago. They're all very capable, they're all very effective, and even like you see so many people who are posting online. I've been checking their work out. Some people are using like EPL 6, and then some of them are using like EM1 Mark 1, EM5 Mark 1. These are like 6-7 years old camera, and they're still producing stunning work. So the matter is, if you are really genuinely interested or very skillful in photography, you don't really need the latest gear to produce brilliant works. Having said that, yes, the newer camera will have certain features that is obviously faster, more advanced, or actually more features that may enable or help you to do something quicker and more effective. But don't get me wrong, you can still achieve the same thing with the older camera. Well, probably you have to do a little bit a manual input and also longer processor, for instance. So newer camera does help a lot. So I guess if you are not making money from your photography, for instance, and you probably don't need to. Don't let the marketing kind of buzz surrounding you, or let other people who are usually a camera geeks talk you into buying a new camera. If you're already quite happy with your current one, just stick with it. I would actually rather invest in better lenses. That's when the ecosystem starts, And so this is exactly the reason why all camera manufacturers, not just Olympus, selling older cameras at a cheaper price to get you into the system, so then you can taste how the actual camera works. In that brand, for instance, like Olympus, Sony, Panasonic, Canon, whatever, they were hoping that you can get used to the system and get the lenses. So that's when you're starting to get into that branding and systems and everything like that. So it's a clever way to do business, and also, but I think it's a very good way to do it as well. So if a lot of people still ask me questions like, should I get the EM5 Mark II in 2020? And I'll actually say to them, if you are never used the Micro Four Third before, if you are really capable photographer, it's okay to get the Mark II, because even though it may have only 16 megapixels resolution, but if you don't need to print big, for instance, you only just like to showcase your work online, or even printing about A4, even A3 sizes of prints, the 60 megapixels is more than enough anyway. So that's perfectly okay, and you can just get the Mark II, just try it out, and because it's got a really nice weather seal metal body as well. So if you're into that, so it's still a very, very good camera. The Mark III, of course, is fantastic. Like the one that I use for vlogging, because CAF is way better than the older one. But again, if you use that feature. Otherwise, it's okay to use the Mark II as well. So I guess this is the thing that I want to talk about. I'm not sure what you guys think about companies selling older cameras. In Sony, it's even worse. They are selling like 3 generations or 4 generations of the A7 series, or even the 6000 series. They have 6000, 6300, 400, 500, and 6600. They have 4 or 5 generations of cameras still in the catalog selling as a current camera. And it is a common thing to do now, but I think Sony just may be pushing the envelope a little bit too far in terms of saying how old the camera is. It's okay, and it's still, like I said, it's still okay if you want to get into Sony. And they, at the moment, they have the brand values to push consumer into buying a very old camera, similar to the RX100 line. You know, they're still selling the original 100, Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, all the way to the latest Mark whatever now, 6, 7 now. And so it's okay, you know, if you are kind of really trying to get into a brand, you know, you don't have the budget, you just want to try it out without committing too much, getting an older model may not be a bad idea. So that's what I wanted to say. So I do have some photo to show you guys, just to prove that as well. So just let me get rid of the today's topic. So okay, let's get rid of that. Right. Mind you though, and I'm not sure if Joshua is online today, because he sent me some long exposure shot yesterday. He said it's a late entry because he's already missed my my YouTube live, so I couldn't actually showcase his photos. But I'm going to show it today here, just to show you guys. It's quite interesting. A couple of shots are very interesting. So he first sent this to me, and it's a relatively slow. Not as slow as, you know, the one that I showed yesterday. Just let me just get his exit data up. This one is shot with an APS-C camera with 1/8 of a second. So it's slow enough, and because, you know, you can't possibly get a sharp shot in the old days without any sort of in-body stabilization. So it's quite good to see that people can use slower shutter speed just to do slower shutter speed shot. I wouldn't say long exposure shot, but it's fantastic to see this. So that means that you really don't have to either push the ISO higher or use a tripod. You know, these sort of shots in during the film era, when I was traveling with my film cameras, I had to use a tripod because it's just way too dim for my film, and I have to use a very stable tripod to do a shot like this. So it's so convenient. I just think technology has really helped us. Let me just get rid of that. And there's another shot here. So similarly, this one, let me just get exit data here. And this shot was shot with also an APS-C. It's 1/8 of a second. So again, it's a very slow shutter speed, and it's still very sharp, which is fantastic. I love all the little details there. You know, perhaps it's probably just a little bit too contrasty. I think the exposure is correct. Maybe just want to lift up the shadow a little bit to show the details. I'm going to show you my version of similar shots when I took in Cuba, so you can understand what I mean about like lifting the shadow up a little bit. But in terms of shot-wise, it's perfect. You can see the sharp details there. There's no camera shake whatsoever in this sort of shutter speed. That's fantastic. That's from APS-C sensor. But now is the interesting thing. Now I'm going to show you these two shots because. Fantastic. Right, let's look at these two shots. Right, the one on the, let me see which one is which, and the one that is have a car coming on, this one. Well, the one on the left of your screen is shot with an APS-C camera, and the one on the right is shot with an 1-inch RX100 XA camera. Right. Did I tell you? Remember, I told you about smaller sensor is more effective when it comes to IBIS or any sort of stabilization, because there are it's just physics. You know, I just don't want to go into too much detail, but you can see that the one shot in with the APS-C camera, actually the shutter speed was it's 1/13 of a second, and then the right-hand side, right photo, using the 1-inch RX100 XA camera is 1/3 of a second. So it's slower and way slower compared to the APS-C sensors. So you can get away with using a smaller sensor, smaller camera, but taking longer exposures, achieving the same sharpness. So it's interesting to see that. That's why Micro Four Third, in terms of IBIS wise, it's actually way better, regardless what other people tell you or what sort of marketing material tell you, how many stops stabilization you have with your camera. But if you're having a full frame or APS-C, you really can't compete like for like with a Micro Four Third camera. A 6-stop on a Micro Four Third camera will definitely outperform a 6-stop on a full frame camera. And it's a similar thing that Joshua actually demonstrated here. It's quite interesting to see that that comparison here. You can definitely achieve long exposures with just the IBIS in the Olympus or the Micro Four Thirds IBIS system. So because it's a smaller sensor, it just works way better in that sort of platform. So it's interesting. So thanks, Joshua, for doing this. It's really, really fantastic. So in terms of the long exposure shot that I just showed you, I'll show you my version of it. And so this is what I say, very kind of similar sort of sunset shot. And but this one, I did not handhold this shot. It's actually on a tripod, and because I was doing like 13-second or 14-second. I know, Trevor, you said you've done a 15-second shot, but I don't think I can do a 15-second long exposure shot handheld. That's a fact. I've got way more shaky hand than you do. So this one is about 15-second, I think, on tripod, lifting the shadow up so you can see the textures from the buildings, and it's fantastic to see the sort of combination between highlight and shadow. So I think in general it's just slightly better. So when you process your photo compared to just Joshua's photo, it's quite good to just lift up the shadow a little bit, and you can see all the buildings and the details. So yeah, just do a little bit of post processing. It will be really, really nice, and trust me, you will do that. And it's very straightforward, especially if you shoot in RAW. You can quite easily push it up. If you're using a slightly lower ISO, like 200, 400, it's very, very easily done in post processing. Okay, and let's go back to let's see what other things I want to show you guys. Yes, let's go to you, Ian, and I know you wanted to look at the grading side of it. So let me just put up the clip. Right, there you go. Let me just show you.
We did in our review complain about no flat profile.
Right, so you can see here, I'm just trying to show you the grading. As you see, when you use the OM log 400 log file in the EM1 cameras, you can get what they call it the ultra flat profile, which log file, which is basically what it is. It's a muted version of the normal colored contrasty scene that you have from the camera. The reason we, or most of the professional or more high-end videographer filmmakers would use a flat profile is to allow the flexibility to do the color grading. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, get the color profile that you want. You can create your own color profile rather than stick with the color profiles that is baked into the camera. I know that the Olympus camera have some very good color profiles already, but they're quite generic. Either it's going to be vivid colors or very saturated or natural skin tone based, so slightly more muted but smoothen the skin tone a little bit more. That sort of profile that's really baked into the camera, so you can use any of those in your filming. But sometimes you may want to tweak a little bit, just get it, let's say if you want to shoot something that's like quite moody, just darken a little bit, not just underexposing the shot, but you also want to turn the color into slightly colder, darker, like a dark, more like matrix style, and you can do that with grading. So that means when you shoot an OM log 400 file, you can do that sort of adjustment in post-productions and make sure that the final color is the one that you would like to see in the finished movie. That's why the log file is good. But in general, if I like what I'm doing at the moment, and is quite straightforward, I can just use the normal file. What is the profile I'm using? I'm using Vivid. I think I'm using Vivid file. The white balance set to it's funny. The white balance, I don't use auto. Oh, that's another thing I haven't mentioned, is don't use auto ISO, because when you switch to ISO, in any sort of changes will change the white balance just ever so slightly. You may not notice it when you're watching me live at the moment, because it's constantly changing if it's set to auto. But when you start editing it, let's say if you want to do crops, cutting in between clips and trying to blend them together, you will notice the difference between the two shots, even though it's in the same sequence. But because auto white balance, you can shift the color just a tiny little bit. It's quite difficult or more cumbersome to adjust or match different colors and different scenes. So it's always good to set just one color profile. Doesn't matter if you just accidentally set the wrong white balance, but it's easier to correct in post because you have the consistent setting throughout the entire scene. So at the moment, it's funny because all my video I usually depending on what sort of thing I'm doing, but most of the time I set it to underwater white balancing because for some reason the underwater I think is actually pretty accurate, and I do like the look of it from the underwater white balance instead of having let's say a sunny day or cloudy day or tungsten or just auto. I don't like use those profile unless I am really outdoor in a bright day. Then I just set it to sunny, which is 5500 Kelvin color temperature. That we get a more consistent look from there. But otherwise, in situations like this, for instance, an indoor, have a big window light coming in, have a key light here. I do like to use underwater white balance. I actually think is pretty darn good and quite natural looking as well. So I hope I can answer your question about the color grading side of it. So it's something that if you want me to ask anything, just drop me a line, email, message, doesn't matter, and I will be able to answer you. Okay, let's see if there is any other things I would like to show you today. Yes, for those who missed yesterday's live, I did have a promotion with thanks from Olympus UK, of course, about the LSP4 audio recorder, because it's really cool little gadgets that I do use it a lot. My one's actually well scuffed up because I use it so much. It's great for recording ambient sound and also recording voices. If you doing vlogging, for instance, at arm length distance, and it's really good for picking up voices, or just using as a general recorder for doing voice notes and things like that as well, and double as an MP3 player for your music if you wish, because it's pretty good. It's got Bluetooth features, so you can actually using a headphone like this just to listen to your music on the go. I know you can use your iPhone and stuff like that, but if you so happen to have that as well, you could use it for all kinds of enjoyment. And so I'm just gonna show you the piece of thing there with my help, Mr. J there holding the recorder for me. You can see that that's the exact kit you will get there. This is the LSP4 recorder with the fluffy thing on top. It's called the Windjammer or the windshield, just to cover the wind noises. If you're going outdoor, it's an essential piece of thing that you will need to get regardless. So even if you just buy the unit, I do recommend you to get the fluffy thing on top of it, just to cut out all the horrible unnecessary wind noises when you go outdoor. Trust me, it works really well. So you do get a discount if you use my code in the online store. Just let me get it to you. So you go to online store, go to the LSP4, get it, use the code Jimmy10 at checkout. You will get 10% off from this the LSP4 video kit. So this comes as a kit now with the fluffy thing on top of it. Otherwise, you can just buy the unit, but I think it's really worthwhile because the unit itself is £190, and the little fluffy thing on top of it alone, if you go, not just Olympus, if you go online, even searching for a third-party Windjammer from Amazon, it costs about £30. I have another one that I bought from Amazon, which is about £35 from Germany, and it's expensive. These things are really expensive for some reason. I have no idea why these fluffy things cost so much, but then they are very expensive. So if you did decide to get one, yep, get the kit because it's only £10 more. So £199, you will get the fluffy thing on top as well. Now you got the 10% discount, so it's fantastic deal, I think, and you can't get it anywhere. Using my code, you can definitely get something cheaper than anywhere else on currently on the market. So if you do think about that, consider that. Okay, let me get rid of that. So that's awesome. So I just want to show you just maybe a couple of more pictures, and we can go a little bit discussion if you want. If not, and I think that it will be it for today's live stream. So let me just go. Oops, there you go. Right. So let me go back to my streaming here, and let me just go back to a wedding photos, because I like weddings. I still like wedding, although that I'm not doing any wedding this year unless the lockdown is lifted, and so I kind of miss that sort of environment. I'm not sure about whether you do weddings. I know Trevor, you do weddings as well. Is that I actually love the morning moments with the bride, and it's something I always enjoy doing. Always like to chat with the girls, and it's fun to be in that environment, And very often when I go into the bridal's suite, you can see all the bridesmaids were chatting and things like that. They almost treated me as part of the bridesmaid group, which is actually quite funny. So I can hear all the gossip going on. It's really funny just to witness that, and but it's good to develop the chemistry there, because obviously, like any wedding, like always, I know it's the bride and groom, it's equal share there, but is the bride. The bride is what you need to please on the wedding day. And so having a good relationship with the girls is would definitely help out, your wedding day to go smoothly. You can ask for help, they're really happy to help you. It's always fantastic to get that sort of interactions and chemistry building. And also because majority decline, if you notice that in weddings, just like any photography services, you need that trust from your client. And wedding is such a big important day for them, and it's very often you probably only have maybe 1 or 2 hours meetings before the big day, so you really never get to know them like really well. So that's the time you can really take the time, speak to them, and understand them just a bit more like in person, learn about the friends and what the characters are like and things like that, and also gain their trust, because you'll be photographing them. They're getting ready in the morning, and that is the perfect time to speak to them, and just having that lovely gentle conversation, not rather than rushing. Because after she got married, she got ready and starting to get to the meet the registrar. From that point onward, everything would go lightning speed, and by then she would not have time to talk to you or to even listen to you. Like she might listen, but not listen, if you know what I mean. And so it's always good to have that trust built up right from the beginning, and afterward you will have no chance, and that means that you may not be able to get the trust that you would like from them, and subsequently, you will not get a shot that you would like to do, or maximizing, your skills that you have, because ultimately it's a two-way thing. It's not just you as a photographer. I know it's a lot down to you, your skills and your eyes and creativity, but having the kind cooperating is also very important as well. So, and it works two-way, both ways. So it's always good to have that interaction. So I do love that. I do miss it, and but like I said, and I don't know when I'm going to do my next wedding at the moment, as we speak at the moment, and a couple of my weddings already been cancelled or postponed, so you just have to see what this will do later on. And also something that I really miss as well is something that I do when I'm out and about. And of course, you guys know me, that I always hanging around St. Paul, Westminster, and also Tower Bridge areas to do my photographs. So yeah, this is something that I usually do on a bright sunny day, just like today. Just look at the sun and just remind me of this photo. That's just why I want to bring it up to show you guys what I miss. The great outdoor is just where to go out, even though it's not in a mountain, but city has its own charm when it comes to that, especially in the early morning. Yeah, this is something I really miss. Oh, okay. So let's see. I've got one more photo to show you before I end today's talk. There we go. Just one more here. Okay, this is a drone shot. So I was flying the drone early in the morning once again, and just because I saw this cloud formation here, and I just loved that cloud, and saw the line coming from all the planes, and just in general, just a very normal day. But it's a day that will make you happy, just like today. Just when I look out to the window, it just looks fantastic. I just want to smile straight away, And so I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day and just be happy and do whatever you like to do. I've got a lot of work to catch up on because yesterday I didn't really work. I had 3 live streams yesterday, and then I had 2 Zoom meetings, and I just couldn't do anything else. And then obviously I still have to kind of get the kids ready to do some homeschooling and making sure that they're still not lagging behind in terms of study-wise, and still got a lot of things to do. It's a challenge, you've got everything in the house at the moment, so it's a little bit of messy time for us. But hopefully I'll get back to my work today and do something that I need to do for the Olympus projects. I'm working on something that you may get to see later on in the year, and something I'm quite excited about. So yeah, you just have to stay tuned for that. But yeah, just to end with a happy shot. And by the way, this photo was processed with DxO, the NIX software, the Silver Efex Pro, which I really highly regard as one of the best black and white conversion for software. You haven't seen the software, you haven't used this before, you haven't checked out my review, go to the my YouTube channel. I'll probably put the link in the description after the stream here, so you can check out my review and talking about the Nik software. Once again, I just say to you that I'm not hard selling to you. I just want you to see it, try it yourself. You can download the trial, just try it yourself. I didn't get paid by DxO to do that review, and I just simply wanted to ask, and also want to show you guys the Nik is actually quite good. It's for those who used to use Leica cameras. You're familiar with monochrome, black and white rangefinder camera. You will know that Silver Efex Pro actually was part of the bundle in the camera, so for processing black and white photos. So it's a very good quality black and white conversion software, and this photo was processed within that software, and it's fantastic. I think it's a worthwhile if you're really into black and white photography. This will get you, so far, in black and white world. Like black and white photography is not something you just simply desaturate your shot. It's something that is too trivial. It's just doing that and bump up your contrast. Not just like that. The Silver Efex Pro does give you some of the old stock film simulations, and then that's a good starting point. Of course, you can still do other things like dodge and burn, getting the structure higher. You can see all the grains and things like that. So it's really fantastic. I love that software. Just purely processing the black and white photo to get that look that I used to crave with my black and white films like Tri-X's, and then the Ilford HP2, HP4, all the other films that I used to love so much. So it's fantastic black and white photos. Yeah, just go and check it out. I say enough, man. I'm not selling it. I'm not selling it. And okay, so there you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. If you got any questions, please do drop the comments down in the stream area. I'll pick it up later on. And if you want to suggest me anything that you may want to listen or hear, also message me. You got the message button on Facebook. Just directly message me. I'm happy to discuss it. Or if you want to have your photos looked at, also let me know as well. I'm very happy to do this for free, because usually the only way to improve your photography is if you have someone looking at your photo and start giving you constructive comment. If you don't like to show public, I'm still happy to look at your photo in private. I will give you some comments privately, one-to-one. Obviously, don't send me loads. Just send me one or two. I don't have the time to do a whole portfolio review. And so send me one or two photos that you think you may want to improve on, and I can let you know what sort of thing you should be doing. If I do have time, I may use that photo and process it with my own skills, and I just want to show you the differences between my edit and your edit, and you can see the difference between them too. So it's good to see the difference there, and then you can understand how you can improve your photo editing as well. So hopefully that will be beneficial for everybody. If you do happen that you don't mind showing your photos, of course I will use your photo as an example to show other people, so they can learn at the same time. So this stream is all about learning, and in fact, my YouTube is all about learning as well. So if you guys want to follow me on the YouTube channel and the 101 live on Wednesdays between 3 to 3:45 p.m. GMT London time, you're very welcome to subscribe, follow the channel, and put a notification so you know when the live's coming on, or just set the alarm there, join me there, and have a discussion about learning photography, improving your photography in practical terms. So that's awesome. Of course, I'm a Michael Forster Olympus ambassador, so if you've got anything quite specific about the camera settings or any functions that you don't know about, please do let me know as well. And if I can answer, of course I will let you know. Of course, I'm not an encyclopedia in the camera setup or technical specifications. I am a professional photographer and filmmaker, so I use them as tools. I do know a lot about them, but I don't know everything about them. But of course, I can relay the message to my Olympus team in the Olympus UK HQ, so I can ask them the questions. I can relate them back to you guys, so you can have the answers that you want to hear. So excellent. So anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I think I have spoken a lot, so I will end it today. So once again, I'm going to say, introduce my assistant here, Mr. J. He likes to hold my Olympus LSP4 here. If you want to remember, get one of these guys, head on to the Olympus workshop, Olympus shop online, and purchase the video kit. You can purchase any of the LSP4, use the code Jimmy10. You can get 10% from this particular unit currently on sale at the moment. So great stuff. Also, until next time though, I shall speak to you guys tomorrow. It's my last day this week, and I will see you tomorrow then. Okay, good. Bye. Oh no. Okay. Just see that I see that this delay here. I see that kind of 1 or 2 minutes delay. Hi Mo, and then I'm just about to end my live stream, and I see a comment here. So just once again, and if you guys want to talk to me every morning is between 11 to 11:30 a.m. GMT London time, and that's the time when I do my live stream on Facebook, and every Wednesday between 3 to 3:45 p.m. GMT London time on my YouTube channel, Red 35 Photography. It is my weekly photography 101 live. Talk about specific photography questions, and sometimes I may interview other photographers, so to give you a little bit of a chat and catch up and things like that. So it's just a fun thing, especially nowadays I cannot go out and shoot different episodes and videos for you guys to enjoy, you know, and so I'm staying at home. So doing live stream, of course, is the way for me to continue the momentum here without spending too much time on editing, because having kids at home is extremely difficult, not let alone stream doing videos. So edit is also another thing that takes a lot of time. So thank you very much. Don't forget, yes, you can get that LSP4 unit with 10%. Go into the Olympus website, put in a Jimmy 10 code, you can get 10% off. So that is all good. Of course, you can also support me by going into my Buy Me a Coffee link, buy me a coffee, and oh yes, I do have to thank all of you guys who supported me and bought me a coffee. So there are a lot of people bought me coffee, so I'm really, really thankful for that. So thank you very much, and so that's why I'm keeping that on. So that was basically helped my work a lot, and continue the channel and continue everything. Everything helps, especially in this sort of tough environment at the moment. It's always difficult to go out and do things. So thank you very much. Oops, I do have a question. First question of the day. Any news about sensor over 20 megapixel, Roman? Okay, let's do a Q&A now. Might as well just do a little bit. If you guys have more questions, this is the time now before I end this stream. Okay. So, well, yes and no. Not from Olympus directly, because there's nothing that they are considering at this moment in time, as far as I can tell, you know, of course, even if I do know anything, I may not be allowed to say anything. I mean, I do sign the NDA because I'm official Olympus ambassador. There are a lot of things I cannot say. So, but in the Micro Four Thirds platform, I can tell you that yes, there are developments, and it's already successfully developed sensor that is over 20 megapixel. For instance, Sharp has already have their 8K video cameras prototype, which has a 36 megapixel Micro Four Thirds sensor, and I know we probably won't push that far. You know, if we do see a higher than 20 megapixel sensor in the Olympus or Panasonic world, well, I think the next sensor come up maybe 24 to 26 megapixel. Don't quote me on that, because obviously it's not confirmed. It's not even a rumor. I'm just speculating it. But the Sharp video camera, the 8K video camera, is a fact because they already done it last year, and the prototype has a 36 megapixel Micro Four Thirds sensor. So that's interesting, and we shall see how that will filter down to the more consumer level cameras, and see whether we will get a bump in resolutions in the next few years. I'm not entirely sure how long that will take, but for me, I think I said to a lot of people who asked me the same questions about resolution on the Olympus cameras, I actually say that 20 megapixel or 24 is actually plenty enough for my work. I actually don't want anything bigger. The fact is, my ecosystem here, my computer, my memories, and my archiving system, my software is very streamlined and very effective at handling 20 to 24 megapixel files. If I suddenly have a 30 or 35 megapixels, it's not that I cannot do it. It will slow me down so much that I have to reinvest into the whole computing system. And don't forget, I'm already having a quite high-end Mac here. You know, this is the top of the range MacBook Pro, and it's still, I think, it's just about, in terms of speed-wise for a professional environment, it's just about okay for processing 20 to 24 megapixel. Anything bigger, it works just slower, and I like to work things fast, because as a professional, you do process a lot of files every single day. Having anything slower is not good. You know, time is money, especially if you're working for yourself. You want to get through the files as quickly as possible. So like 2024 is just like the sweet spot. I do like the file size as well. It's not too big. I can send to client digitally fairly quickly, and still print big. You know, I mean, it's still relatively big. The 20 megapixel you can print up to A1. No problem. I print it a lot for my clients for canvases and things like that. And even in very high resolution files and on A3 exhibitions, and no problem. Once again, it's very sharp. Pixel to pixel is really good. Yeah, it's unless you have to thinking about doing digital cropping, that's you may want to think about having a high resolution, but you do have a high res mode in the latest crop of cameras from Olympus as well. Hi Bruana, good morning here, and or good afternoon in your place. So that's good. People are joining me late today. Right, is this lockout thing getting you guys up later every single day? And I do find it for me, because usually I get around about 6 o'clock or 5:45, and in the last month I'm getting like half an hour later every single day. So like these days I get up around 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's really late for me, and then I do find that. So so I don't blame you guys, and it's really difficult when you actually just work from home, do everything from home. You can't go out. It's not that you have to catch a bus or catch a public transport or drive out to avoid traffic or whatever, you know, go to work. You don't have to do that now. You just get up and just get to your desk, and you can quite lazy, and you know, you don't even have to change, you know. And actually what I'm doing now, you probably don't even see what I'm wearing, and I'm probably not wearing anything underneath. Just joking. I do wear properly, and I have jeans on, and not that I'm naked. Okay, right. That's good. So any other question? And oh, be with your niece. That's nice. It's good to have a family time, right? It's really good. Okay, so hope that answered your question, Roman. And so yeah, I really like Olympus, despite the fact that yes. Yep. I think 24 is definitely enough, because I've been using 24 megapixels for 10 years. 10 years, and that until the point that I switched to Olympus, which reduced from 24 that I was working on to 20, but I still think it's plenty. Still think it's enough. But unless the point that you want to start cropping in and things like that, and it's always okay, you know, with a lower resolution. Even 60 megapixel from the EM5 Mark II or other cameras, older cameras, it's still good. You know, sometimes you just do general just family day out and things like that. You know, and it's something slightly casual. Then you don't need higher megapixel. You don't really want to hog the system up too much in terms of resources and archiving and things like that. 60 megapixels is plenty. You know, like you use an iPhone. You know, you know, it has like 12 megapixel. You still think it's good, right? You know, most of the time when you take family photo, you're just gonna basically share it online or something like that. You don't need more than 4 megapixel or 8 megapixel. Frank, you know, that's the fact. Even if you post on Instagram, you don't need that high resolution file, right? So so it's plenty. You know, people got the numbers game wrong all the time, and saying that I need higher number because it's better. You got better dynamic range, blah blah blah. You know, like it's all wrong. If you're into photography, number is secondary. I still use some of the cameras that is only 2 megapixel. I'm not joking. I have 2 megapixel cameras still lying around that I use, and I still use, because it's one of these nostalgic old kind of toy-like camera that will give me kind of like a lo-fi effect in both videos and photography. It's a very special tool. In fact, I may be able to show you something. I'm not entirely sure it's still in my hard drive at the moment, but this is really something that that I used to have this gadget. I can't remember the name of it now, and let's see if I still have it somewhere. Probably not, and I might have it in my hard drive somewhere. Don't think so. I don't think I have it here. Which is a shame. You know, it's a fun little clip that I did for my kids. I may show it next time. Oh no, I do have it. Right. Oh, I can't. Oh, it's AVI format. It doesn't It's not compatible with my my current streaming software. I may be able to convert it straight away. Let me just see, and if I can, because it's a very small file, so I can actually convert it very quickly. Let me just do that right now, and I will be able to show you straight away. So let's do that, and Right, there we go. Is done. Fantastic. Right. Let me just open up so I can show you guys what it looks like. Okay. Right. And right. So you can see that this is from a 2 megapixel camera. This does give you that kind of like old style 8mm camcorder look, and I love it. And that's why it sometimes it's just a tool for you guys, and then I actually think is fantastic, and it's all fun. Just sometimes to have this sort of little toy to play with, and it does work. Sometimes you think what sort of things you want to achieve in your movies and other things, and then some of these older tech and actually comes in quite handy. Okay, Roman asked a question. What do you think about the future of photo industry and the place of Olympus in this? Very good question. I think that Olympus is actually standing in a very, very good place, to be quite honest. I know there are a lot of discussions about, Olympus going under, they're not doing well, blah, 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 blah. As you can see, I did a video called You Don't Understand Olympus on my YouTube channel that went kind of very viral, and people talk about it a lot. Only because people don't quite understand Olympus as a company. But in terms of overall photographic industry, well, it's a fact that you can't avoid that the market is shifting downward at the moment, because at the moment we are in a cross line now. Everyone who wanted to get into photography or filmmaking, they already have it. They already done it. It's more about not about buying new cameras now. They're buying other things like gadgets and accessories and things, that supplementing things that they have already. So company sales are definitely going down, and and also another thing is nowadays that companies upgrade the cameras too often, and Sony is by far one of the worst people out there who pumping out new cameras every year, and that didn't help. It's just too often. Back in the old days, you don't get a new camera for every 3 to 5 years, and then that is good, and that's a good development point. So Olympus is kind of following that initially, but I know that later in the last 2 years they've been changing their strategy a little bit. So now they have new models out every 2 years. So that you should expect the newer models in 2 years' time, and then every 2 years. Let's say if you got a Mark III, even Mark III just came out, you should expect one in 2022. That's kind of the projections at the moment, but the thing is that overall everything is slower in terms of sales wise, but Olympus is in a good place. The reason I said that is that Micro Four Thirds is very niche, and it's a good niche because like I mentioned, there are a lot of benefit in having a smaller format, and not only that, Micro Four Thirds has matured so much that is now a completed platform, and you don't have to worry about that too much. And a lot of people, including Panasonic, they're almost abandoning the Micro Four Thirds, even though that last few days they have recommitted themselves to Micro Four Thirds. They said they will rejuvenate the Micro Four Thirds line by doing something new. So that is encouraging. But having said that, they have pumped in a lot of R&D resources and effort into their full frame development, but the full frame market is saturated, it's too crowded, too many people doing the same thing, and they are fighting, basically. And on the other hand, the Micro Four Thirds is actually in a happy place to themselves. Now they have the pond all by themselves, they don't have to fight with everybody, and they're in a very good place. And people who are really getting into the photography wanted a lightweight, truly portable system and capable system. Olympus is really a good way to get it. And also, there are a lot of features that Olympus has still, like in terms of technology wise, is still a mile better than a lot of the other camera companies having a bigger or larger format like APS-C or the full frame format. So it's really good. Stabilization is one of them, but all the live composite, live bulb features are fantastic. Live NDs, these are all really good features that nobody else has at the moment. Although live com, Panasonic kind of edging into it now, and but other than that, is in terms of computational photography, Olympus is really advanced. But I do hope that the Olympus will continue to develop their computational photography, learn something from the smartphone market, because things like these is what driving the sales down as well, because they are getting more capable. They are doing more than what they used to now. And that means a lot of the casual photographers now are willing to take the daily photo with these than actually using a bigger camera. But there are something that is actually quite interesting in the smartphone market, especially in technology terms, that other bigger companies should actually learn something about, like the fake bokeh. I know it's not good. I keep telling that. It's not that I would like to enhance, it's a good thing to copy, but I'm just showing as an example. They do things in software. So there are lots of things you can do in software now, especially now the Olympus or any other digital cameras, the latest generations have powerful processor. You can make use of the processor to do something funky, even like for the Olympus camera, they have this art filter. They're all computational. It's funny that not only just in picture terms, but you can employ those picture profiles in video mode. So these are heavy processing. So that means the camera processor is capable of doing that live. So imagine that you're trying to employ something funky and cool and useful computational effects, and that means you can enhance the camera even further. And also I'm looking forward to the new profile for the AI tracking on EM1X. I'm still waiting for an update for that, so that may be something to shout about when that comes out. So I'm hoping that will be really awesome. Let's see what other things. Brianna said you got some bird photos and using the 40 to 150 MC14. Nice. I did that the other day. I got nothing else to do, just staring out, and I saw a robin just kind of standing on the fence, and I just used the same setup, 40 to 150 EM1 and also the MC14, just to get that shot nice and crisp, and it's nice shots. I love it. Don't forget the news about Pen F2, maybe. Everybody hopes that, right? Including myself. I'm not holding my breath for it at the moment. I can't say if I do know, but I will let you know as soon as I see any official confirmations and announcement. Then I will be reporting straight away or discuss about it. But I would like to see a Pen F2. I would like to see a Pen F2, full stop. That will be my day. Okay. Anyway, so any other question? If not, I will end it today because it's already been almost an hour. Whoa, cool, man. And okay, so I will speak to you guys maybe tomorrow. Hopefully you guys will join me on time. And because I was supposed to end this about 10 minutes ago. So now I'm going to run over a little bit more than usual. But it's so good. I'm happy to talk about it. Like I said, if you have anything more specific you want me to answer, you want to hear in my next stream or following streams, do leave me some comment or directly message me. If you want to have a look at your photos, want to improve your photography, I'm happy to do it on a one-to-one basis. Just email or message me your photo, ask me for improvement. I will just do some constructive comments and let you know what you can do with that photo, for instance. Also editing wise, and if you're happy, I can use your photo as an example to show other people how they can improve their photo as well. So that's all good for everybody. I'm hoping that this whatever I'm doing at the moment is helping the entire photographic and filmmaking industry, and it's helping all the people out there who are enjoying doing photography and filmmaking learn something new every day, and to be inspired and do something with the camera. And that's my goal. Okay. And that's it. That's what I want to say. So everything, of course, is at the moment just doing on my own. There's no other sponsors for me. So you can support me by using the Buy Me Coffee link. Of course, that will help me out to do my work, especially in this critical time at the moment. But other than that, it's not obligational. You don't have to do that. But I'm just saying that you can support me if you want to. Okay, so cool. So no more stream today, and one more tomorrow. Then I'll have 2-day rest before I see you again next week. So if you want to join me tomorrow at 11 to 11:30 a.m. GMT London time, and I shall see you guys soon, and have fun and enjoy the sun wherever you are. Be happy.